Hi guys, welcome to another video. Today I want to make a video talking about being a PSW while being pregnant and how that has been so far for me. I'm now in the third trimester, so I've basically made it all the way, so I just want to explain how it's been. When I first got pregnant, I was working at a nursing home, a long-term care home, and the place I was working at in particular then was very heavy work. A lot of the residents were overweight and you didn't have an extra teammate there to help you all the time, so it was just one person turning a resident instead of two, where there should have been two for the overweight people because they are very heavy, and that's how injuries happen. I actually got injured on my last day of working because I had already put in my 2 weeks, so I filed an incident report, of course, because it hurt. I was able to get a job somewhere else. Of course, I found a job somewhere else before I quit because I didn't want to be in a bad situation. The way I injured myself was my right shoulder. I was pulling one of the bed pads to turn a resident, and it was, of course, one of the heavier residents, and I am a very small person, so I got injured. I did everything properly, I did everything how I normally did it. It was just that particular day, it didn't work out and I got injured. Also, while I was pregnant at this nursing home, I was giving somebody a bath, and after their bath, I had another PSW helping me dress them. This resident is known for being violent, but at the time, they were being calm. There was no sign that they were going to be violent. So we were both not expecting this to happen, but I was up against the wall on one side and the other PSW was on the other side of this wall. It was a kind of a tight room, and the resident lifted their arm at some point and whacked me right in the stomach against the wall. And this was like very early on in my pregnancy, so although I was new to pregnancy and I didn't know if that would hurt the baby and I was concerned in that way, I was so early on that it will not hurt the baby because your stomach is still protecting everything in there. It's not like right now my belly's bigger, so it's thinned out more. If I were to get hit now, the baby is more likely to get injured than it would have been when I was like 4 or 7 weeks. After leaving that employer, I found a new one. I covered the agency on my name tag, but I just wanted to show you guys I got a little name tag. So now I'm with an agency that does home care. They also are in retirement homes and long-term care homes. So it's a big mixture, whereas before it was just a long-term care home. So I'm able to do a bunch of different kinds of shifts to kind of even out my energy, because when you're pregnant and you're PSW, you are going to be very drained of energy because of the amount you're doing in a day. In the beginning, I was fine for energy. It was just an issue of morning sickness for me in the beginning mostly. I started by doing morning shifts, so 6 to 2s, 8-hour shifts. And every morning, without a doubt, I would have morning sickness. So I would get up at 5 in the morning, puke a bunch, go to work for 6, get there, work. On my break, I might puke a little. I'd get home, and then I would either puke again or eat food. So the morning sickness happened a lot, and that was what was making me have less and less energy over time. Plus, I was still working a lot in the beginning. And then I would say when I hit about 5 months, my energy really started going downhill. I'm still having morning sickness now, even though I'm 6 months. And that's something I wasn't expecting to deal with the whole time while I was pregnant, so I wasn't prepared for being emotionally drained from just puking so much and not getting enough sleep and not having enough energy from all the puking and not being able to eat. So at around 5 months, I asked my boss, could I have a little less shifts because I'm getting too tired. I'm not able to work or work properly. My brain wasn't functioning to its full capacity. So I asked for 3 to 4 shifts a week instead of 5 to 7, which is understandable. And I've been doing that since then. And I'm getting more and more tired again. So shortly I will be probably asking my boss again to give me some shorter hour shifts. So at least I can maybe work every day, a couple hours, and I'll be able to handle that. Because recently I've been doing some home care shifts that are 12-hour shifts, So although they're very light because it's just one person in home care compared to 15 residents that you have to get in bed in long-term care homes, but it's long hours and I'm not able to get enough sleep, so I'm still very tired even though I'm just basically sitting around all day, not doing too much compared to what I normally do. So sometimes I find it's not even the workload, like what you're doing, it's just how long you're awake for. So if you're a PSW struggling with the same thing, I would recommend just doing shorter shifts. If you can find 4-hour shifts, maybe bath shifts at some nursing homes, or short little home care shifts if you're with an agency, I think those are really helpful. The agency I'm with also does personal companion care, so you literally just go and hang out with somebody to keep them company all day. It's not personal care and stuff. Those would be the easiest shifts for me. So when I get really, really pregnant, my boss said, I can give you more of those shifts to help you still make money, still be working, but easier on my body, obviously. My plan is to still continue working for as long as I can, even though I'm starting to get more and more tired and it's getting harder and harder, but I want to try to hold on until the end to make as much money as I can. I've had some PSWs tell me that they, as soon as they find out they're pregnant, they choose not to work as a PSW because the workload and how dangerous it can be. If you are in an environment where there is behaviors a lot, you could get hit at any time and you don't know. Where I am now working, I'm fully aware of all of the residents' behaviors. I know who I'm safe with, who I'm not safe with, and what I'm safe doing and what I'm not safe doing. So when I still do nursing home shifts, I have other PSWs do heavier things like moving the machines because that's holding all the weight of the resident, whereas I'll maneuver like just their feet or something lighter. Of course, I've still been pushing myself and working hard because I like doing that. And I consider my job to be like my exercise because I don't do anything else. So yeah, I'll walk around a little more and I'll try to do stuff and keep myself busy while I'm at work. I did have a conversation with another PSW at one point, and she had a miscarriage while being a PSW in the past because how hard the workload is on your body and the injuries you can get. And unfortunately, she had a miscarriage. And she told me she was actually working on getting pregnant again from that past miscarriage. So as soon as she found out she was pregnant, she quit. And that's what she told me she was going to do because she didn't want to risk losing the baby at all. So it really depends on what you're comfortable with and what you can handle. I've been okay with handling working still. I've been getting more and more tired, but I'm still doing it. If you feel like you cannot handle working and you'd rather just sit at home and do things maybe online to make money, that could be a better option for you. Does my bump affect me and how I work at all? Does it get in the way? Sometimes it does. As I've said before, I wear a band when I work to try to hold in my belly so that when I do certain movements, it doesn't hurt as much because there is a lot of pressure in my belly for me when I'm bending down to like help put somebody's shoes on or something. And this really does help. When we're pulling a resident back in a wheelchair, there's times like that when you're relying on your body to kind of have the wheelchair against you while your hands are doing something else. So I've had to change how I stand when I do that. So I have to turn to the side so my belly is not getting pushed up against from the wheelchair. So I recommend doing that if you have any situation where something's coming and pressing near your belly, turn to the side so it's pressing on your hip instead. Talk to your coworkers and the other PSWs, let them know what you can and cannot do, what you feel comfortable doing. If something hurts when you do it, stop doing it and get somebody else to help you do it. There are certain residents that before I was pregnant, their behavior, I would just go right in, let them hit me and get their care done. Now, as a pregnant PSW, I do not do that. If there's a resident that starts becoming aggressive behavior, I will just walk out, tell another PSW, I need your help. You can either come with me or they'll go and do it themselves. And that's good. We look out for each other, so everything's good. You're also more at risk for certain things while you're pregnant working in nursing homes and stuff. There might be certain rooms that you're not allowed to enter because of sicknesses. So just make sure you're talking to the nurses about people in isolation, why they're in isolation, if they have any bacterial infections that could affect you. yeah, just keep the line open with the nurses. The nurses at the nursing home that I work at right now, as soon as they find out somebody is sick with something that could affect me, they always have me in mind and they let me know as soon as I get there to avoid that person or to get somebody else to do the care for that person. Even though I could gown up, put my gloves on, goggles and everything, and I would be okay. But just to reduce the risk, they just try to get me out of the room instead. Again, it depends on what you feel comfortable doing and what the nursing home feels comfortable doing with you. I think that's all I can talk about in regards to being a PSW and pregnant, guys. If you have any other questions that I missed because I'm scatterbrained, because pregnancy brain, then comment them down below and I will answer them. Yeah, let me know if you're PSW and pregnant also. Goodbye, guys. Have a good day.